I am really, really excited about what I'm going to try today. Some of you probably saw my video of my sidekick and myself at the farmer's market, and you know what I got so excited about, those homemade oatmeal cream pies. They were divine, and y'all know I'm going to have to attempt to make them. I have no idea that mine will be nearly as good as hers were, but I've got to try, so let's just jump right into it. I'm going to tell you what you need. We're going to be mixing up the cookie part first, and then we'll do the filling later. So I'm going to be doing this in my stand mixer, but I'm going to tell you what ingredients you need to get together, and then we'll move over and put it all in there. You're going to need 2 sticks of butter, and it needs to be soft. Not melted, just soft. You're going to need 1 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of regular sugar. You're going to need 1 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour, and in that I went ahead and added 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Mixed it all together in my flour. You're going to need 2 large eggs, 3 cups of oats, and you do not need the instant oats, they'll be too fine. These are just old-fashioned oats that I'm using, and I hope that's going to be the right kind. 1 1/2 tablespoons of molasses and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I've got that all mixed together. Let's move over here and get going. Put your butter in first, and then we're going to get that all mixed up. We're going to beat that till it's fluffy. I found out today that some people don't know that you're supposed to read a recipe through to the end before you ever get started. Now, I know most every one of you that are watching this right now know that, but there might be somebody out there that does not. It can make a huge difference, y'all. Beat that butter. Add in both of your sugars. Get that fluffy. Add in those eggs 1 at a time. Scrape the sides, y'all. Get it. I'm going to go ahead and add in those molasses and the vanilla flavoring. Next, I'm going to add my flour mixture. And finally, that oatmeal. Get that as smushed together as you can. Get that oven preheated to 350 because you're about ready to roll. Of course, you know what we're going to do. Ooh. So far, so good. That almost tastes like an oatmeal cream pie. Now we're going to let this set for about 5 or 6 minutes just to let those oats absorb some of that moisture. I'm going to get a cookie scoop, pretty big, and be ready to dip. I've got my cookie sheets lined with parchment paper. I'm using this size cookie scoop. It's probably about 2 tablespoons. And I'm just going to level those off because I want all of my cookies to be the same size. And hopefully they're going to spread out. Now mine are going to be pretty big, but I wanted them large. You could certainly use a smaller scoop than this. I have wound up with 22 total cookies, which means I'm going to have 11 once I sandwich them together. And they're going to be large. If I do them again, which I probably will if they're good, I'll probably make them a little bit smaller. We're going to pop these in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. All right, I cooked my cookies for 14 minutes, but they're pretty big. I really didn't mean for them to be that big, and they kind of ran together. So mine won't be perfectly beautiful like the ones I got at the farmer's market, but I'm not selling them. I just want them to taste good. So now we're going to try to get them off of this and onto some wire racks. They look exactly the way I wanted them to look. I'm gonna let them set just for another minute because they're starting to kind of get squishy. Now, apparently I want my cookies to start to get a little brown around the edges, but not on the top. Because we want these to still be chewy. I don't want a crisp cookie. Depending on how large you make your cookies, I would say if you make them a normal size, 10 minutes probably will be a long enough cook time. Mine are just a little gigantic. Now let's make that cream filling. That filling is part of the whole magic of an oatmeal cream pie. So far my cookies are looking like they should, like I want them to look. Now we're going to take 1 stick of butter, and it needs to be soft, and I'm going to beat it until there's not any lumps in it at all. Next I'm going to put this jar. This is a 7-ounce jar of marshmallow cream. Got this at the $1.25 tree today. We're going to mix this all together. Go ahead and add you some vanilla flavoring, and I'm using vanilla bean paste. This is Vanilla Bean King, I think. I don't know, but it's really good vanilla. Some people have asked me, why does mine look so thick? It's because I'm using the paste. Next, I'm going to add 3 cups of powdered sugar. Probably should sift this. I'm not going to put it all at once just in case I don't need all that. So this is what happens when you look for recipes on Pinterest. I'm going to show you a perfect example. This is what the recipe told me to do. You see what that looks like? That is not cream filling. So obviously I'm going to have to add a liquid. I was already skeptical. I didn't believe it was going to work. Now I know. I'm going to get me a little bit of half and half or milk, and I'm going to add it to it. I'm going to start out with about a tablespoon. A little goes a long way when it comes to powdered sugar. I'm going to add the rest of my powdered sugar. And then I'm going to add about another teaspoon. Now, since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm definitely going to taste this. I want this to be thick enough that it doesn't run out the sides of my cookie. I'm going to put just a little bit more vanilla. I want to taste that vanilla. Now for the fun part, we're going to put these together. Now if I was making these to sell or just take somewhere that I thought they needed to be perfect, I would put all of this into a Ziploc bag and I would pipe it onto my cookie. But since I'm not, and just my family's going to be eating this, we're going to spread that in the middle. And then we're just going to put another one right on top. Now mine are definitely not as pretty as the ones I bought at the farmer's market, but I'll know better how to do this next time. I told you, it's a whoopie pie marries an oatmeal cookie. I haven't tasted it yet, but I've got some high expectations. Okay, there you have it. I think they turned out pretty good, but the ultimate way to tell is to just give it a little taste. So we're going to do that. The cookie by itself is delicious. In fact, I think the next time I make an oatmeal raisin cookie, I'm going to use this recipe and just add raisins. So let's see how that filling is. That'll do. That will definitely do. Y'all have got to try these. Good luck.